everyone, welcome back to the ranch. Today I'm actually going to be showing you how I keep our horse barn clean the easy way. It's going to be us, a leaf blower, and some quality time of real homestead work. Let's go. This right here is going to be a fun video. It's going to be a little different. No animals up front. You may see the horses and chickens in the background. No tutorials, straightforward. Just real homestead chores in action. We're going to be out here with our trusty leaf blower, and we're cleaning the horse barn from front to back. It's about 19 minutes of real life, ranch straight up life, no frills. I figured I'd talk through the whole thing and keep it real. What we're doing here, why we do it this way, and a little bit of ranch talk while we go. You'd be surprised how satisfying this can be, even though it's technically work. If you've ever had to clean a barn the hard way with pitchforks, shovels, and brooms, believe me, we do that too. We actually have a roll on the way, so this was a hasty option, and I'm trying to beat the storm. We have a horrible storm. There's a low pressure sitting on top of Florida right now, so you'll know why we switched to the leaf blower method. Now, you might be wondering, aside from those, why a leaf blower in general, right? Isn't that just for the yard? Yeah, most folks do use them for leaves. Obviously, we do too. I will say I learned real quick, though, that in a barn setting, it's one of the most versatile tools you can have. Hay bits, dust, feed crumbs, feathers, goat hair, dirt, cobwebs in the rafters, You've seen it, you'll see it here. It gets all blown out in minutes. It's pretty quick, especially when it dries out. You'll see some, wet areas. It is what it is. You don't have to worry about kicking up too much mud or making a huge mess. I am wearing a mask during this, a cloth. If I'm wearing a fabric over my face. So make sure you wear something protective over your face. You're not inhaling this stuff. You don't have to bend over with a dustpan because I have a terrible back. Every 2 feet, that would be... You don't sweep the air and walk. Way easier on your back. You can do the whole barn in one go. The horses don't mind it. They're not even in there. They walked out down the pasture. So they get curious when they're used to the sound. They go away. This is a part of our, this is a routine on the homestead, depending on the season. In the summer like now, we try to do it more often because flies are relentless and every crumb on the ground can attract something gross. So you want to keep the barn clear out. Clear it out like this. It helps to cut down on flies, bugs, rats if you have them, of course, snakes, not to mention. You just like to see it clean, right? When you walk into a fresh barn, it feels good, and the animals are calmer too. Make sure you secure the gate behind you, though. Also, I have the front gate, I think, open right now because I'm waiting on Amanda to bring a roll in, but that's okay. That's why I closed this gate. I typically have 2 gates between the animals, but there's rare instances like this where I only had the one, but that's okay. I'm in there with them, so I'm not stressing it. I don't leave them unattended like that with only 1 gate. Never just one. That is the water trough in the background here as well. We clean that thing. You'll see it up here on the left constantly. Horses are messy drinkers. They'll dump their hay, slobber in it, poop. They poop on it, honestly. And they don't ever say thank you, but we love them anyway, right? This barn, you can see straightforward. It ain't nothing fancy, folks. It's a basic open air setup. You got a couple of stalls here. One stall on one side, and the walk-through alley here where I'm currently walking at, or working on. Kind of want to push it outward, you know what I mean? We're thinking about paving that spot too, though. I think just kind of good overall maintenance for it, As you can see, it just, look how fast it goes. You see that there is some wetness. It's exposing on the bottom. So obviously this has settled a bit. So you just kind of do it in layers, but I'm telling you, it's so much faster. As long as you cover up your face and wear a mask and then you clear the animals out, you're fine. Nobody's breathing it in. So it's safe for everybody. You can see how fast it goes. You go sweep side to side. It's good for it. It's just nudging, sweeping side to side, nudging everything out the back of the front, off the sides. You collect it later, kind of push it out there like that. Let it break down naturally. Folks, this is compost that I'm pushing out. You can use this in a garden. This stuff is garden gold. Not even kidding. It is the absolute best. When it dries out back there, if you go about a couple of inches underneath it, oh man, I'm telling you, this stuff, not too acidic, it's perfect. You can put it around all your plants. Very, very great stuff. Speaking of the compost, we compost generally all the waste in general on the homestead. Horse manure, hay scraps, the bedding, everything organic gets pushed into piles here. Up here to the right, further typically, further away from the barn, we have where we keep the horse compost stuff, and then that gets shoveled in. Sometimes we'll have people come and get some from us for free. No, we don't charge anybody anything. They come in, you got to help your neighbors, help your friends out. So they come in and they collect it with their own shovels and bags or whatever, and then they haul it off. We use it on our own gardening here. You can push it, shovel it into a wheelbarrow and put it around your plants, some peat moss, whatever. We turn it, with the mower, the wheelbarrows and stuff. Sometimes you just turn it by hand. It breaks down into just absolute rich, dark compost that we use and everybody use. If you saw our potato or tomato videos, you have seen that compost in action. We literally grow food from our horse poop. I mean, that's straightforward. Sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, you name it. We are doing that here. That is homesteading for you. When people say, "Oh, you're homesteading," that's what you're doing. That sounds probably a little generic, but people get this misconception with homesteading. They think it's all, use the word, roses and just, pretty smells and flowers and easy, simple life. Folks, there ain't nothing simple about the homesteading life. The key to a good compost from barn waste is balance. You can't just dump poop and expect magic. You need a mixture, right? You got dry bedding or leaves. Ours is mixed in with some absolute fantastic leaves over here. As well, we have lots of covering. You guys have probably noticed. So you use that covering, the tree leaf, the old leaves mixed in with the compost or the horse manure. You can use old vegetation, moisture, the green stuff. If you can toss it in, get some air. That's why you got to be careful not to completely blow everything into one tight pile in the barn. You want to kind of try to blow it out evenly. Like I sound backing up and going from left to right. Obviously, I'm going to be raking out the stalls too. You're not leaf blowing it. The stalls are going to get pulled out. So that's a whole other segment. But this is talking about just leaf blowing the main area, getting it pushed out because we have a big roll coming in. So what I'm doing is making room for that. The stalls there, it will get pulled out and then around the corner there taken out. So you don't want it piled up. People, they romanticize ranch life a lot. They picture wide open fields, happy animals, peaceful mornings. Sure, do we have all that? I mean, pause for hesitation to think about it, right? Sure. We also have days where you're blowing hay dust out of a barn for 20 minutes while sweating your butt off through your shirt. Ranch life is honest. It's physical. It's good for you. There's no real off day. When people say, "What is your exercise routine?" Well, I don't, it's not regimented. It's when you live on a homestead, gardening and homesteading is kind of its own form of exercise. It's keeping us alive. You're moving. When people say walk 20 minutes a day, well, here's 20 minutes of this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you're constant. It's going. It's physical. There's no real off days. But we love it. I wouldn't trade it for the city life. That's for sure. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Gets us away from just the kind of messes that are going on in the world. It's just the little moments, doing simple chores, seeing the animals happy, obviously the kids happy, watching the sun go down with a clean barn. And if you get your yard mowed and stuff, it's just a whole nother, it's all grounding. It keeps us present, Your mental health is just vital. If you're thinking of moving toward homesteading or small scale farming, stuff like this is what you'll spend a lot of time doing. Honestly, not just the fun stuff like collecting eggs or petting goats. There's mucking, there's hauling, there's trimming hooves, get a farrier if you're not comfortable with it, and cleaning stalls. Got anybody that that has some kids that would like to make some quick money? You can have them come out and do it. Or if you got an issue or something, like a bad back, you can totally hire some kids to help you out too. They love it's easy. Remember when back in the day when kids would mow your yard for $20? Have them come out, $20 an hour or something, and just help you out with this stuff. It's a lesson for everybody involved. Tools that make it easier. If you're homesteading, don't go cheap with your tools. The blower, it's Husqvarna, it's not top of the line, it's not sponsored. It's solid, it's reliable, cordless. This one's gas powered. So we do have some battery powered ones. I don't really recommend the battery ones, but we use battery tools sometimes with like the drills and things like that, things that are smaller jobs, if you will. So even the driveway edging, it's nice though if you have the cord, so you don't have to stop. Typically with weed eating, I'll swap out I'll keep the extra battery on me, things like that. It's nice to have cord though, because then you don't have to worry about the battery. Don't go cheap with your rakes. Don't go cheap with your pitchforks. Do not go cheap with your wheelbarrows. I'm telling you right now, that's funny because they get flimsy and overwhelmed when they're full. Get the good stuff. You'll save yourself hours and frustration. You get what you pay for, and that's the God honest truth. You get what you pay for. I've learned that throughout the years. You also keep a leaf rake around the corner. For the areas the blower can't reach, like there's one actually that I'm standing in right here in this back corner. It's gonna have to get pulled out with a rake, but that's okay. And a broom for the water buckets. Little tools, big difference. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. If you're if you're watching closely, you might catch Indy, our goat, to the right. He keeps wanting to hang out, which Indy the goat. Wow, Indy, our donkey, to the right. He keeps hanging out for a second. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's being a curious Indy donkey over there. But they don't care, They're always nosy. He acts, over here. He might act like the foreman of the ranch. He watches everything. He yells constantly if he thinks we missed a spot. Right? The ducks, they don't care. They're over there with the chickens around the corner as well. They're not far. They'll walk through a dust cloud like it's fog at a concert. The chickens, man, they love when I clear the barn out. Fresh dust, loose hay, and open corners to explore. Let me tell you about that. We got to keep them out of the barn though at times. They'll undo half the work we just did. The dogs don't ever go on this side of the fence. They don't ever go on this side of the property. We don't. You got a donkey, be careful. If you have dogs and a donkey, or goats and a donkey, if you have a donkey on your property, be careful with your other animals, because sometimes they get territorial, protective, and sometimes it's not good for your dogs. They will kill dogs. So they're guarding. They guard the farm. So half the time they're just following us around and watching us while we work, though. Efficiency is everything out here. If you can do a 30-minute job in 15 minutes with the right tools, this is homestead life philosophy. Really, if you can do a 30-minute job in 15 minutes with the right tools, why not? You're not being lazy, you're being efficient. Work smarter, not harder, right? That's what they used to say in the military, but because there's just always another job waiting. Clean the water trough, trim the vines, fix a fence, check the eggs, feed the goats, mow the grass, check the pH of the blueberries. The list goes on, right? It's nonstop. How's the soil with the potatoes? You know, is the green showing? Does the corn need to be pulled, or tomatoes? It's, you name it. It's does the ducks? We have growing ducks, growing chicks, different stages of all these animals. So homesteading teaches you to be resourceful, especially with your time. You reuse feed bags, you repurpose scrap wood, and you compost everything. I mean, everything. Why not, right? That's the cool part. I think that's cool. I think that one of the coolest things about homesteading is reusing and recycling your own stuff. Nothing gets wasted. Not even leftovers or food. You know, everything gets fed here. Even, you know, the barn dust blowing out, if, you know, it'll settle, it'll break down, and it'll feed the soil. It does. This stuff is absolute gold for the soil. You know, there's beauty in that. You know, there's beauty in knowing that your daily work feeds into a cycle that supports your land, your animals, and your family. Even a simple thing like blowing out the barn, it's just part of the rhythm of self-sufficiency. You know, it's just, we're just getting kind of wrapped up here. You can see a lot of this is just going to have to get pulled with the rake, which is fine. I kind of get over in this corner, but that's all right. Most of it, like I said earlier, you got to rake out a lot of the corner, but the leaf blower helps out tremendously. And you can already see how much cleaner it looks just by talking here for a few minutes with you guys. Fresh air. I don't know if you guys have even thought about the leaf blower, but I'm telling you, it works. Just cover your face. Please cover your face, especially if you got grass allergies, and just, you know, push it up. Horse pee and poop. That's why it's wet. So cover your face. You know, you get your clear walkways, which is nice. Fresh air. No piles of random hay, dust hiding in the corners. Get it, you know, you want clearance to your tack room. It takes less than 20 minutes, but the rake probably 30. If you combine the two, by the time you're said and done after raking this too, probably 30 minutes. So there's no heavy lifting. It hopefully isn't killing our back, right? It's a win. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and this talk about this, or just like seeing what real life on a homestead looks like, go ahead and hit that like button for me. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It helps us out. It gets more eyes on the channel, which is cool, because other homesteaders that are looking for good ideas. You know, subscribe if you're into animals here, gardening, honest day-to-day homestead life. We have videos and playlists on chickens, goats, ducks, pasture rotation, all that good stuff. Check out our channel for real if this is your first video with us. If you have your own barn cleaning tricks or favorite tools, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this technique too. Ways to improve, how do you do it differently? We love hearing what other folks do and how they do it. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. We upload videos here, you know, sometimes daily. We do lives a lot too, so you can come talk to us on our lives. Until then, stay safe, stay grateful, and keep living that simple life, right?